In our current decade, reboots and remakes are all the rage. Most of these revivals are darker than the source material we are familiar with. These current remakes can go into more horror, grown-up, or simply different routes than of the original source. So how does one make a good dark remake? Without a doubt, 2011 Teen Wolf is one of the best dark remakes, better than the original 1985 film of the same name. It became clear that the original didn't age well. Both the film and television show are vastly different. So how is it that the darker remake is better than the original film? When developing Teen Wolf, showrunner Jeff Davis claims
I wanted to rip off the Lost Boys. I wanted to create something that had a sense of humor. A lot of teen shows are kind of melodramatic. It's a little too much soap opera for me. And I told MTV a long time ago, I'm not sure I can do soap opera, but I can do romance, and I can do horror and comedy and thriller. And it was a way to do a fun suspense show.
1985 Teen Wolf and 2011 Teen Wolf have one similar thread: their premises. Both center on how Scott's life is impacted when he starts to become a werewolf while dealing with high school life, yet both approach it from completely different angles. Unlike the film, the television show has Scott keeping his werewolf identity a secret while defeating threats to his small town and dealing with high school. The film focused on how that little secret getting out impacts his popularity, dating, and basketball. 2011 Teen Wolf may have changed various aspects of the film, only to improve areas where the film lacked. Small changes, even like the name of the town, the popular sport, and even the characters' last names, made the story feel more refreshing rather than a carbon copy. Bigger changes, such as how Scott became a werewolf, adding in villains, or even the exploration of werewolves, made the adaptation even more interesting. 1985 Teen Wolf was missing a few of these key elements. The film has no villain for Scott to overcome. Scott's arc is too simple, and even some of the dialogue comes across as too offensive/edgy. 2011 Teen Wolf provides Scott multiple threats to challenge him. Scott's character growth is complex and flows organically with the story's narrative, and some of the dialogue is still funny while never crossing a line.
You're an alpha, okay? You are the apex predator. Everyone wants you, you know? You're like the hot girl that every guy wants.
The hot girl?
You are the hottest girl. What?
I'm the hot girl. Yes, you are.
In terms of story and dialogue for a dark remake, 2011 Teen Wolf is superior solely because it improves what the original failed to deliver. A dark remake can only make small and big changes to the original material if it can build onto the original and make it better, improving flaws the original source created. From the protagonists, sidekicks, villains, love interests, even authority figures, the characters on Teen Wolf make the show. Film Scott and TV show Scott both start in the same place as unpopular, unathletic, nerdy leads, but 2011 Scott is more likable to the audience because he repeatedly fights for what is right, while 1985 Scott never really does anything admirable to gain likability from the audience. For Styles, the 2011 show makes him even more likable than his 1985 counterpart, a jerk who solely uses his best friend to make money and become popular, who says many offensive things. 2011 Styles became a fan favorite because he is a nerdy, loyal sidekick who will do anything for his best friend. Even when Scott turns into a werewolf, it is Styles who figures it out and who will do whatever he can to help Scott adapt, not turning on him to make a profit or gain popularity. But then again, there is Void Styles, but that's a different part of the character. Even the character dynamic between 2011 Styles and Scott feels like that of two actual real-life best friends.
Scott, you're my brother.
Adding in new characters like Lydia, Derek, Allison, and Jackson who actually contribute to the story rather than just be tropes enhances the story and adds more emotional weight to the series. 1985's Teen Wolf cast of characters were mostly cliche, flat, non-complex characters, which didn't make the story better because the characters themselves were dull. Making Teen Wolf a character-driven show with likable and unlikable characters worked in its own favor because its audience could actually feel for them rather than be annoyed with them. A dark remake can easily fail to implement new characters or reinvent existing characters, and unless renovating a said character establishes new exploration for growth or a new character can be a part of the remake and contribute, it would be advised not to renovate or add in new characters. Original Teen Wolf had a more comedic tone than the dark, modern tone the show established. The look of the werewolves and the setting of the tone really helped to make Teen Wolf new again. Dark remakes might go too dark, but Teen Wolf keeps a subtle balance between the darkness and lightness, which dark remakes should aim for. 2011 Teen Wolf is a better dark remake because the story, character arcs, dialogue, and even the dark tone are well established and create a story audiences can enjoy far more than the original.
I'm always right, and you should listen to whatever I have to say and never disagree, ever, ever, for the sake of your wolflyhood.